Hey everyone, Kuuiba1207, fantasticmakeup.com. I need to get my website updated. Anyways, this is the look that I'll be showing you guys in this video. I came home from work one day and was itching to play with my makeup. So I grabbed my Urban Decay Electric palette and just started playing. I haven't really gotten a chance to play with this palette a lot, so this was actually the first time I got to play with the colors. This shot right here is basically my day-to-day look. Foundation, fill my brows, mascara, walk out the door. Oh, and some blush, and then walk out the door. Anyways, on with the look. I applied Urban Decay Primer Potion first to my lids, both my upper lids as well as along my lower lash line. I always wear a primer whenever I'm going to put on eyeshadow. It just always helps keep my eyeshadow in place, and it also helps to grab the color from the eyeshadow whenever I apply it. Now for the look, I basically used the brush that came with the electric palette. I just flipped it between the bigger side and the smaller side, depending on what part of my lid I was working with. So for my upper lid, for example, I used the bigger side of the brush. And for the first color here, I applied Revolt. It was the silver color that's from the electric palette. I applied it basically just to the inner corner of my upper lid and to my inner corner, and then I flipped it over and used the smaller side of the brush and applied it into the inner corner of my lower lid or lower lash line. Now, the second color I applied was Freak, also from the electric palette, and I basically applied it to, I want to say the next half of my lid. So where Revolt left off, I started with Freak and covered the rest of my lid up until my outer corner. I left that part bare. And as you can see, I'm really just packing the color on. I really wanted to go for a really bright, I don't know, something playful. You don't play with a palette that's called the electric palette and not have something bright. So I flipped the brush over, then used the smaller side, and like I did on my upper lid, I applied Freak to my lower lash line, pretty much along the same distance. Now the yellowy pop that you get in the color is from Thrash. That I basically applied where Revolt and Freak met and then blended it together. I tried to make sure to not cover too much of Revolt or Freak because I still wanted those colors to show. And again, flip the brush over, use the smaller side, and use Thrash to blend Freak and Revolt together. You can really see that yellowy pop on it. Now the next color I decided I wanted to play with was Chaos. It's the really bright blue of the electric palette. Basically, the part of your lid that you leave bare, your outer corner, that's where you're going to apply Chaos. And when I applied this, I did not blend it with Freak whatsoever. I just put it on my lid and went with it. And just my upper lid too, by the way. There we have Chaos on both eyes. Now to blend the two colors, I used Fringe. I literally just applied it where I left off with Chaos and where you see Freak start to meet up with Chaos. And I applied Fringe right on those two colors, and that's what I used to blend the two colors together. And this is just on the upper lid too. Again, I didn't know where I was going with this look. I just really wanted to play with the palette more so and figured I would just record it and hope for the best. There you go. You have it on both eyes blended in. Now to kind of add, I don't know. I wasn't really trying to add anything. I just was playing. I took the purple from the electric palette, also known as Urban, and using the smaller side of the palette brush, I applied it to my lower lash line, to the area that we didn't yet cover. I didn't want to use Chaos down there because, I don't know, I just didn't. So once I had my lower lash line filled, I flipped the brush over then, and then using just the tip of the brush, I applied Urban to the outer edge of where I left off with Chaos. So basically the outerst edge of my outer corner. And I basically took Urban and applied it into my crease from there. So I basically almost made a V shape with Urban if you include where I attached it to my lower lash line. An upside down curvy V. But once I had the general location applied for Urban, I then started to blend out the upper portion of it so it didn't have such a harsh line on top. So at this point, I was relatively happy with the color scheme of the look, so I just wanted to fine tune a little bit um, of the finer touches. So I applied a bit more Urban to my lower lash line to kind of create that fuller lash line effect. And where I left off with it, I used Fringe to blend it in with Freak. God, these colors are irritating to remember. Anyways, I wanted to add a bit more definition to my crease. So using a mini smudge brush, I applied a touch of black eyeshadow to Chaos, but only to where it met up with the other colors along my upper lid. I basically did this. It's kind of like a cheat for my blending. Um, fake it till you make it. But yeah, as you can see, with just the little bit of black that I added, compared to the other eye, it actually does add quite a bit of definition and some sort of depth to my eye. See? Even I'm amazed by it. Not really. Now from here on out, I'd say the rest of the look you could kind of probably play with on your own to kind of meet, whatever sort of playfulness you want to go for. Like for example, when I lined my upper lash line, I went with a black hard line. You could go for a smoky line, a smudged line, or a completely different color other than black. Um, but for me, myself, and I went with the black liner, black liquid line. Now, something to keep in mind, um, I had to take my time. Anytime I do a winged liner, a winged hard line like this, I have to take my time lining my eyes. So much so that just to put this in perspective for you guys, um, these shots here of me lining my eyes were sped up 200%. So take your time. Winged line is not easy for everyone. I will admit, having a good liquid liner though does make it a lot easier. For my lower waterline, I kind of wanted to give my eyes a bit more pop and also give the inner highlight a bit more pop. So I used a silver eyeliner on my lower waterline. It kind of brightened up my eyes a bit. And like I said, it did actually add a bit of oomph to that inner corner. Once I did that, I then wanted to add a bit more definition to my lower lash line. So I applied a small bit of MAC's black track fluid line, and just applied it to the outer edges or the outer corner of my lash line. I didn't go any further than where I left off with Urban. For my highlight, I've been using white chocolate. It's from TooFaced Cosmetics chocolate bar palette. It's basically their equivalent or their competition to Urban Decay's Naked cosmetic palettes. That's the take I got from it. I don't know. But anyways, I've been using that for my highlight for a while now. It's a nice neutral matte highlight for lighter skinned complexions. Um, for my lips, again, you can go whichever way you want. You know, if you want to do a bright pink lip, that would actually look really awesome with this. But I just went with something more neutral. I applied Spice lip liner, lined my outer edges, then filled them in a bit. Same thing with the bottom lip. And then for the lipstick, I used Urban Decay's Vice lipstick in Amulet. I've found that this is actually a perfect match for MAC Spice lip liner. But yeah, that's pretty much the look. That's really it. I really just wanted to play in front of the camera or actually I really just wanted to play with makeup and figured I'd just do it in front of the camera for you guys. Hopefully you guys like it. It's really fun. It's been so long since I've done something this bright. Um, oh yeah, don't forget to apply your mascara. As you can see, I almost forgot to do it in the look too, and that's why it's the last step. Anyways, yeah, there we go. There's the look. So yeah, yay, playtime. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Share, like, all that fancy stuff. Here's a couple more pictures if you guys like. Oh, and don't forget to check out some of my other videos. There's a Nia Jax video coming up, or a Nia Jax inspired video coming up. And then you can also check out my Clear Waters video and my comeback video available on my channel. Thanks, guys.